I am here on March 7th, 2000 with Sharon Sandomirsky. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And first thing I want to ask you about is how the Fuzzy Mountain String Band came to be, because I know that was an early rounder record.
Well, and I wasn't around there's 2 volumes of it, and I'm only on the second one, so I'm not sure I can say exactly, but I think...
When you say 2 volumes, you mean 2 distinct LPs?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And so they already had their relationship with Rounder.
Okay.
And there was, I guess, a lot of interest, so they did a second one.
I see.
And, well, mainly Ken, I think, used to go to a lot of festivals and probably met the guys that way. And, they were just getting started, because I think this was number 10 or something. Number 10 and number 22.
Okay, yeah, I know the first one was an early album, and I didn't even realize there was a second.
Yeah, and it was just done in somebody's house, and tape recorders were run together serially to get them multi-track. It was pretty primitive.
Who was Ken recording it, or was he absent?
No, he was absent. It was just the people.
The band did it on their own?
The band did it, yeah.
And just handed it in the master?
Right.
Okay. Did you have any contact with them? Were they your record company, or were they pretty irrelevant to your activities?
Well, I certainly wasn't the one dealing with them, but I was sort of the contact for the reissue. They put it out on CD, so I was that contact, just because somehow Ken knew how to get hold of me on the email, and I was willing to do the work.
What did that involve? What's the work involved in CD? Just getting releases signed from the band members?
Well, we wrote new notes, and we got everyone's cooperation, and we, what else did we do? I guess mainly it was writing the notes and just getting everyone on board with it.
And what did Fuzzy Mountain do? Where were you based? Was that a Boston band? Or
no, this was in Durham, North Carolina.
And that's where everybody lived, and you were there as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was kind of the, in many ways, the beginning of all this old-time interest, because Alan Jabor was a graduate student, and Hollow Rock was probably one of the first bands. It was the first time that people went and found the sources and learned directly from them.
Now when? What time?
It was in maybe 66 to 72.
Well, you said the first time people went and found the sources. What about 56 when Mike Seeger was recording?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess Mike did too, but this was a band, when a band would do that and then record the material.
Okay, go out and get their own material from the sources.
Right.
And make their own record.
Right, so I think Mike was more doing it as a preservation.
Yeah.
As an archival thing.
He would record them themselves and bring them to Moash and release an album of kind of field recording type thing.
Yeah.
This was a kind of a revival band. Would you call them a revival band?
Yeah, they're called a revival.
Discovering their repertoire, their own repertoire?
Yeah. So I think Alan Jabor was the inspiration for all this.
Okay. And I know the Rounders used to invite themselves to sleep on his floor.
Oh, they slept on everyone's floor and everyone's driveway, and still do.
Right. Do they stay with you when they come for South by Southwest? Or
no, they stay with Cash.
They stay with Cash.
They used to stay with me in Durham sometimes.
Okay. And how long did you play with Fuzzy Mountain?
It was about 69 to 73 or something like that.
Was it more old-timey than bluegrass?
Yeah, it was totally old-timey.
Okay.
It was a very kind of studious orientation.
How many records did you sell, do you know? Back in the LP days of yours?
Yeah.
But did you sell a fair number of records?
Yeah.
Or a pleasing number of records?
more than you'd expect.
Right.
Because somehow it became a source for repertoire.
Interesting.
So it was one of the earlier records.
Now, and you play what? I guess I should...
I play guitar.
Okay. Okay, and that's what you're still doing. When did you... Now, you were involved with your ex-husband in founding Sugar Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what brought that about? I mean, why Sugar Hill? Why did there need to be another label? Was it just personal desires, or was there a void that people felt needed to be filled, or
Uh,
fun to do?
oh, and I'm not sure I should speak for this, but well, he was working with Dave Freeman, and
Right.
I think they there was some material coming in that was more progressive, and then Dave was definitely interested in more traditional stuff, so they just decided to divvy it up.
That is what. Speaking of that, do you know Don Kissel?
I've met him, but I don't.
Okay, he told me that 1 week ago today.
He did?
Yes.
Now,
He was the editor-in-chief of Pickin' Magazine, which
Uh-huh.
existed through the 70s.
Uh-huh.
And, God, I don't even know how Barry's name came up in our conversation. I just transcribed his interview yesterday, and I don't think I would have remembered it if I wasn't typing it. And yet he said to me that those were the origins of Sugar Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if it's a secret he was a journalist.
No, I don't think it's a secret. I just sort of. Well, I'm sure it's not a secret, but I'm just not sure I should be the spokesperson for.
Oh, for Sugar Hill Records right. So when you, I guess the whole idea here is to kind of talk about the Central Texas and Austin situation. So, what is the scene here? You are involved in what group? I know there's the AFTM and there's the Central Texas Bluegrass Association. Why don't you tell me a little
Well,
bit
I'm
about
involved in both, but not that much, I guess, in either one right now. And but I was on the CTBA board when I guess a couple of years after I got here.
Which was when?
I got here in '91.
Okay.
A friend of a friend who was on the board asked if I wanted to be.
Of which organization?
This was CTBA.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, that's a good way to meet people.
Sure.
and get involved. And so I did for 2 terms.
And were you on the board, you said a couple of years after you got here, like 93,
Yeah.
or right away? A couple of years after?
It was probably a year or 2 after, yeah.
Okay, were you playing music before that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the organization and with people you met through it?
Not people I met through it. Actually, the way I met people here was through Dan and Christy Foster.
Okay, right.
And it's because I was on the Old Time Herald board, and so he had gotten something, I guess during a fundraiser, talking about the board and the changing people on the board, and that I was moving here, and he was sort of looking out for me. And finally, and I never, I don't know, I was pretty busy getting settled, starting a new job and everything, so I hadn't called anybody. And then one day he just called me, and it was.
Okay, so what does a CTBA do? I mean, why is there an organization as opposed to?
I don't really know, because
play?
you know, in North Carolina there weren't organizations.
Really?
And there was this one called Pinecone, and they put on concerts more, and maybe fiddlers contests kind of deal. But there certainly wasn't a bluegrass organization, so it was kind of news to me that all these organizations were here. And I can see a few roles that they fill. I mean, I think they're certainly useful. Well, Austin's a place that's drawing a lot of new people, and there's a lot of people that just come through too on business, and so it's a way for people to meet each other. And there's very little bluegrass that gets put on here and gets promoted here. So that's another small thing that they do. And there's a couple of kind of smaller events, either picking events or stage events that are put on. And I just don't think any of that is possible without an organization, because there's really no market. I mean, there's not a big public market for it. So,
Right.
so the way there would be that's probably why there wasn't anything needed in North Carolina, because they've got festivals, that have been going on. That's where they started, when they started in the 50s or 60s or whatever. So I guess it's just a way for people who've been most of the people who play bluegrass here are not from here. And when they move here, they just want a way to meet each other and kind of sustain something. And then it's usually not a huge group that goes to the jams or anything. I mean, people develop their own circles, and there are a lot of parties and so forth, and not everyone knows about them. They're just different, circles of friends.
Right. When did the organization start? Do you know? You know it was ongoing when you got here, but
I think it's, Gene, I could find all this out, but I just don't have it off the top of my head. But I bet it was in the 80s or early 80s or something.
And who is the founders or founders still involved with it?
He's not still involved, but I think he's still here.
Oh, okay.
So that'd be good.
And who was that?
I can't think of his name.
Okay.
I think his name's Ted.
Okay.
I could find out though.
Sure.
And at one time there was just the one organization. Just AFTM was the only organization. But bluegrassers and old time people are pretty different.
How do you mean? Go ahead.
Well, I don't know, they probably draw from different, political type groups, and they probably have very different philosophies and so forth.
Now that's intriguing. Which political group
didn't know
is
that?
with old timies and which political group is with bluegrassers? I didn't know this at all. Which one?
Well, I think old time people are generally real liberal, sort of. They're into community, and both groups value history and have a preservation bent, but probably the bluegrassers are a little more experimental. But I think the old time people, at least my experience of them, are that they're very much into a preservation lifestyle.
It being old time music.
Yeah, but I mean, along with the music goes, the standard old time house is an old design, full of antiques, a huge amount of effort going into, going to yard sales and, having vintage clothes and driving old cars, and just, it's an entire lifestyle.
And this is more liberal politically, you think?
Well, I think that there is a. I don't think that's liberal.
No, but I mean,
but I think there's.
But these same people tend to be more liberal politically, is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Interesting. And that's just based on kind of observation.
Yeah.
Of lots of them over the years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a geographic. It's a community without geography. It's definitely a big community.
Right.
And I suppose bluegrass is to some degree too.
My perception of it is, as not a player, is that it is. Do you feel there is a distinction though between that maybe bluegrass is, I don't know, bluegrass may be more on a professional circuit, is a lot of it more directed toward...
Well, I suppose there's that too, so that there's that whole other side to it. There are, spectators or whatever you call them, and there's a more of a business to it.
Right.
But,
But your sense is, I don't know, you weren't there, but your sense is why there's two organizations came out of one is that they're just different kinds of people?
Well, that's pure speculation.
I understand, okay. So what do they do? And you're in both of them now?
Yeah.
Are you a member?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that mean anything? Get real times?
Yeah, it means I get the newsletters.
Right, that's right. So what is the Bluegrass Association, what types of things have they done? What have you been involved in? Have they done any festivals here, like the Zilker? Do they do the Zilker?
They do the Zilker. In October there's a picnic where people get out and play, but there's no one gets paid, kind of thing.
Where's that?
That's at the Quarries Park. It's in North Austin.
Okay.
And they're both real nice events, real.
I've gone to Zilker. I love that.
Well, the Quarries is I love that even more. And it used to be that the organization was involved in what was Old Settlers Bluegrass, but Actually, when I was on the board, there was a big desire of some of the board members to keep that separate because it was getting into big bucks and, just didn't seem like we should be involved other than as volunteers.
So is that now put on by a different entity?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
and
still,
has been
is it a
for-
nonprofit thing now, or is it a for-profit festival?
I think it's nonprofit. Pretty sure it is. And that's Randy Collier.
Yeah, and they're just moving that now. They're leaving
Yeah.
Round Rock, going down to Dripping Springs. I think there was too much rain last year or the year before.
And I think they're building some kind of ballpark or something up there, and also there wasn't any support for camping.
I see. Okay. So you do Zilker and you do this other thing, and have
missed
you
the jams.
Okay, what is it? Talk to me about the jams. What does that? These are the Arts Rib House things
Yeah.
right now on Sundays. Have they been going on ever since you got here?
Not at Arts, but they've been going on. There was another barbecue joint where they used to be.
Where was that? Which is
It was called Captain Tom's, I think.
still around, or?
It's got a different name, but
Okay. And how
Yeah.
many people typically show up for these things?
20 or something.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm bad at estimating
Okay.
that. Why, does that seem low or high?
Seems high.
Oh.
Seems like a lot of people.
Well, yeah, it was a pretty good crowd.
Maybe in a city of 650,000 people, I shouldn't say that. That's a
when
good
you-
crowd of people. I mean,
Yeah, when
20
you think about how many players there are, that's not
I agree. I mean, 20 people just showing up with their
Yeah.
instruments to play together
right.
is, yeah.
And they don't all play together. Sometimes they'll have separate, different jams and one inside, one outside, one in the screened area.
Okay.
And, another event is every July 4th, there's a band scramble.
What's a band scramble?
You put your name in a hat according to your instrument, and then bands get drawn, and then you have a little contest. You practice for half an hour or something, then play 3 tunes and 3 or 4 tunes, and then...
With the band that was just formed?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's real fun. And then there's a little, used music thing where people donate stuff. So it's a fundraiser.
Is that your phone? Do you want to
We'll let the machine get it.
Okay. That's a profound ring. I'm going to wait for it to stop.
Or maybe Chris will get it.
Your husband, is he here? Taking over his house for the
Here he is.
day.
I'm going to turn him down.
I don't know if did Randy tell me, would Randy have told me that your husband's not into your music at all?
Well, he likes it, but he doesn't go with me a
I
whole
see.
lot.
Okay.
Some people think that I just made him up. He's, I don't know, he's totally wrapped up in his work.
So this number of 20, which we're playing around with 20, whatever that is, you have a picture in your head of what you've said is maybe 20 people. Is that pretty consistent that same size group shows up at these
No, I
jams
think
every Sunday?
it's going to vary by the weather and, what else is going on, and maybe even, I've seen different groups different people kind of dominate it, so maybe it changes that way too. And I'm not that regular. I'm not really regular at all.
I see, okay. That next thing I was going to ask were, do similar faces show up every
Yeah.
week? Or there's some people who are
Oh,
real
yeah.
mainstays.
Yeah.
Who are they, if you know them?
Well,
Who's the
right now-
hardest core of the jam sessions?
Right now, Mike McCarty seems to be kind of a leader, and I cannot remember the names of some of these other guys, but he's definitely right in the middle of it.
CTBA
And
people.
Flash seems to be the
Flash.
Flash. I don't even know his name. That's how he goes.
Okay.
He has a studio called Eastside Flash.
Oh.
So that's where his name comes from.
What kind of studio? A recording studio?
Recording studio.
Okay. Okay. And you say they've put on shows as well? Or promoted concerts, that type of thing? Is that what I mean? Have they done that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know, that kind of has varied by who's on the board.
I see.
And I think when I was on the board, there were quite a few concerts put on, and now it doesn't seem to be the case.
Uh-huh.
Because it's kind of, I think maybe a more practical way to do it is to interest someone in coming to town and then going to Griff at the Cactus and saying, well, we're going to be behind this band and help you with publicity and stuff, and would you take a chance on them? Sort of what Tim's been doing with AFTM. That's a really good way to do it, I'd say, because a club like that doesn't have the finances to, you know, to be promoting.
Right.
Can't really take a loss or anything very easily.
I think Tim told us at Shady Grove that Griff takes 25% of the door and sells his booze and puts them.
Well, I guess, I don't know that he has a standard arrangement. He probably has different ones.
Right.
But maybe he does that with old-time acts he's not really that familiar with, but some bluegrass acts wouldn't be willing to do that. You know, I think they have different standards of what they need to make, and they're not going to stay at someone's house. They're, you know,
Right.
kind of a different level of being on the road.
Do you remember some of the concerts that you put on when you were on the board? Or do you remember any of the concerts?
Yeah.
That the Bluegrass
Oh, yes.
did?
I put on Larry Sparks and Traditional Grass are two that I was involved in.
And were they moneymakers? What was the venue?
Traditional Grass was at the Cactus. We were involved more, and you know, and each arrangement's different.
Right.
We were more involved just to support and
I see.
trying to get the house full and that kind of thing. But really, Joe Mullins did that. He booked it himself. And that's another thing is that the bluegrass artists are often, they either have a booking agent or they do it themselves. So they're a little more, you know.
In other words, they'll just make a straight arrangement with Griff, say, if it's at the Cactus, they'll make a normal business arrangement.
Well, it's kind of like, it would be a normal business arrangement except that they would indicate our support,
Right.
indicate the club support, and maybe sell tickets at a discount. Or
For you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
it was really, there's really no standard.
Right, okay.
And then for Larry, it was he was on his way between two gigs, and it was an afternoon gig, so it was really a lot more informal. And it was at the Waterloo 138th.
Okay. Are most of the people that you meet in the scene, do they do other things? Are they big record buyers? Are they festival goers? Or do they just, or if you know?
Well, there's a real active festival thing here, and it's different than what I was used to, because so few acts come here to play. It's really more of a picking scene than
Right.
you know, they don't even look to see who's on stage. They don't even think about who's on stage. It's just a picking festival.
You mean when they do small local festivals like
Yeah.
Silver?
Oh, no, I mean bigger ones.
Oh, you mean when people go to bigger ones?
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, Traditional Grass or somebody really good would be on the stage and nobody would even pay any attention because they're not used to having anyone good on the stage.
Oh, I see.
They don't even think about the stage show.
Gee, I might think that then they'd say, let's watch the stage. We never get to see this. But instead they say, let's do what we always do.
Yeah.
Now those are traditionalists.
That's probably the way it is in a lot of places, but I was used to more of a stage show, I guess,
Uh-huh.
the ones I went to.
Right. How about albums? Do people buy records and stay up with current bluegrass acts and know what Sugar Hill's putting out and Rounder and all these other billions of
Well, some
billions?
people do and some people don't at all.
Okay.
They're not, there's a few junkies here.
But it's not, but you alluded earlier, I guess, to a whole lifestyle or worldview or scenes. Are you able to elaborate on that a little bit? I don't know. Why are the bluegrassers conservative? What's the, if you know? I said I wouldn't ask you why anything. Why do you feel they're conservative? You're not the only person to tell me that. By the way.
Really?
No.
Oh, you gotta tell me more, you gotta reassure me.
Oh yeah,
that I didn't make this up.
who was I talking to? Well, it comes from odd places. Charlie Pilzer of the Focal Lines, and I don't know if you know him. He's based in Maryland. He does mastering and CD production and stuff. And he gave me a whole disquietation on who's conservative and who's closet conservative, and not wanting to be conservative in the broad-based folk old-timey bluegrass scene. Not with names, but he had these little sub-segments sketched out, and he told me bluegrassers were conservative.
Well, I think in terms of their consumption styles, you know, the old-time people would be into having a used Volvo or something, you know, they would definitely be into driving a car into the ground, and you know, would have to have at least 200,000 before they'd consider selling it and all that kind of crap. You know, that bluegrasser would want to have a, you know, four-wheel drive and a ranch house in the suburbs and just a different, you know, all the latest gizmos and in terms of record buying, well, I think that's kind of an age thing. The young people seem to like the hot licks, and the old guys like the oldie moldies, and then the people like me who like bluegrass and old time only like the oldie moldies.
I see. Okay. Did you grow up in North Carolina? Where are you from? California?
Canada.
Canada. Oh, okay. So you're a long way from home. And that's I guess it's an interesting musical choice. When did you come to?
Well, it was in '68,
Okay.
so it's been a long time.
And you've been here consistently, more or less?
I was in North Carolina from '68 till '91.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so my experience, my first intro to bluegrass, and that was the first music I heard, I guess, even before old time.
Uh-huh.
It was New Deal, so those were the hippie bluegrassers in High Lonesome.
Right. Okay. I didn't know what the New Deal was, but I know what High Lonesome.
So and that scene at the time in '68 or '69 was completely mixed, just like I think it was in D.C. and most places, you know, at that time. People were just interested in all kinds of music.
Okay.
You know, they were interested in hillbilly music and early bluegrass and old time, and they loved it all.
Right.
And they were just discovering it, so I think a lot of the people my age are like that. They just love it all.
Right. What was your take on what came to be called new acoustic music?
Oh, that was very declassed.
Really?
That was really that was scorned.
Really?
And that, well, I think some people then decided to make money,
Oh, by going over?
but capitalizing on it. But I think most people weren't very they weren't very impressed with it, or they thought it was mindless or something.
Right. Well, how do they then account? How do they make accommodations to somebody like Bela Fleck, who's really good and can play real great bluegrass if he wants to, and then other times doesn't? I mean, do they not make that accommodation, or just not like what he does?
I don't know, and that might be an age thing too. I know the people that I was hanging out with didn't like newgrass, didn't like, you know, Grissman and all that kind of stuff. And then I think maybe slowly they started to appreciate it and became interested in the same roots of jazz, like, you know, Grappelli and everything. And then maybe they'd come around. I don't know about Bela. I think people younger than me really like him. I shouldn't be talking about age so much, but it's just that I can almost predict
Who's going to and who's not?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And I gather you're not too wild about it.
I don't even know them that well. I mean, I've seen the bluegrass sessions a couple of times, and the traditional stuff is great, and the other stuff is okay, and yeah, you know, I certainly. Actually, I think he's probably an exception. I think people just really do appreciate his talent. But I don't know. I feel like my reading is kind of odd, because I went from old time to progressive bluegrass, and then to early bluegrass, and
Well, what do you consider progressive bluegrass, since we're
well, like
using labels?
Newgrass Revival. And,
Okay.
well, just because they're Sugar Hill Wax, and
Right.
kind of you just get involved in all the excitement, soul scene, and all that kind of stuff.
Right, okay. What about AFTM? Now, have you been active in that at all? Or just
I've not been, no, I really haven't been, just pay my dues and,
I
you know,
see.
go to their concerts and know the people and,
Now, they do jams too at Waterloo, is that right?
yeah, that was kind of a recent, well, apparently that was the original jam
Okay.
quite a while ago, and then they tried to revive it and it didn't take off, I guess, that well. And as in most organizations, there's a few people that are doing all the work.
Right.
And for the jam, it was Tim and Angie, and also for the square dance on Wednesday, I think they were doing a lot of the
Right.
work there, and then they had to kind of cut back because
Yeah.
of their house.
Yeah, I had gathered they haven't been at the jams in a while. Are they refurbishing a house or?
They're building a straw house, but they have to move in this weekend, so they might be back because they've sold their other house.
Oh, God. They're building a straw house? What is a straw? It is a... All right, you can tell me later.
No, I don't know if this is... No, actually, I know a few people who have. I don't know anything about it except that it's made out of big straw bales that are then packed with mud or something.
Uh-huh.
And it's supposed to be great insulation.
Cool. Guess you get a lot of fire insurance. Where is this house?
It's out near Hamilton Pool.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Figured it'd have to be out somewhere. not off Spyglass.
Apparently Marvin Dyke has one too.
Is that right? Okay, that's kind of cool.
So I think there's a trend. I think there's like a whole group of people that are interested.
Huh. How about money? Where does CTBA get its money? I guess, does it need much money, or?
Dues and these little fundraising events.
And that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't need a lot of money, I suppose.
Well, for a while actually we were getting money from the city to put on Zilker.
Uh-huh.
And Sue was the one who, I think she had a big part in that because
Sue Fowler?
because she was on the board too with me.
Okay.
And she had a lot of experience with getting grants, and no, maybe she didn't initiate it, but she kind of helped it, and so that was a good source of money. But there was a feeling that the program had to be a lot more diversified, and
By the city?
no, I think it was by the board members, but I don't know how
Okay.
much of that came from the city. There was
Okay.
the perception of it anyway.
Right.
And so then the bluegrass got mixed up with old time, and I think there was conjunto and, just a variety of stuff, and then some people got really upset. I think they quit trying to get city money.
I see. Okay.
Although there's a lot of expenses just in having it at the city park. You have to pay a lot of, insurance fees, and I think there's a rental on the grounds and that kind of stuff, so.
So they just pull that together from donations and
I
dues
don't know.
and other events?
I don't know what the current situation is.
Have you ever encountered these more or less 20-person jams or things, just contradictions among players, or I don't mean personal disputes, I mean people who play real differently and have real different interests who say, don't jam with us or don't jam with me or things like that?
I haven't really. I mean, I think there's two ways that they can go. Either they're really democratic and somebody kind of takes charge of letting everyone have a turn, and that's one way to do it. And the other is that the ringleaders just get in there, and if you want to get your turn, you just got to bust in. You got to like push right in the middle of the circle. So I've seen both ways. And I don't know about how much style is a factor there. It's probably just how confident you are, and there seems to be a really big tolerance here for anything goes, you know, because this is a big fusion place.
Yeah. Was it
Because-
that way in North Carolina on the circles you were with? Was it the same kind of way?
I didn't really, I mainly went to just parties, I guess, of friends or,
You said there wasn't organized jamming there in terms of
There-
organizational.
No, I think the only organized jamming would be at a music store or something, and I never did that.
Okay.
Because I just had friends that I played with regularly, and we all seemed to have the same interests, and so I never ventured out like I felt like I had to do that here because I really didn't know anyone.
Right. Any
Yeah.
sense of have people ever tried to your knowledge to pull more professional acts through here?
Well, Randy.
Kind of at the
uh,
Randy Pitts?
No, Randy
Right.
Collier.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry, yeah.
Right.
I shouldn't say
I
that.
think
Randy,
he's an agent. Yeah. Okay, Randy Collier.
Although he
said
actually, he probably books mainly Keith Case ads.
Yeah.
But,
But he has Randy Collier, whom I don't know, has tried to.
well, he's the one that kind of, since I've been here, has been the one running this Old Settlers
Right.
Festival. So that, I guess that's been a main way to try and bring acts. But now, they finally realized that you couldn't really have a bluegrass festival. It had to be a music festival with some bluegrass.
Right.
And then South by Southwest has had a little success, but mainly with very well-known people like Dell,
Yeah.
or the Freight Hoppers, and like Cash has brought some of her acts in. And then Lynn Morris comes because she's from here.
Okay.
She comes here twice a year. And then at the Cactus, they've brought some of the bigger people like Allison, and actually in the backyard too. So if they're at that level,
Right.
they just, there's nothing special needed. And then Peter Rowan comes all the time because he lives here. And so you really don't get a whole lot.
Yeah.
Carl Shiflett doesn't come anymore, even though he's from here since he got discovered. How about some more water?
Okay, sure.
So, I'm not saying anything.
Bellingham, Washington?
yeah.
Yeah.
Some kind of guru of, who just really knows the material. I'm talking about bluegrass, I guess, mainly, although I suppose for either one. And get some disciples. And then
Get some to what?
get some disciples, someone
Oh.
who's really eager to learn, someone a little bit younger, and just feed them this stuff, And so there's probably some experts around here.
Is there any teaching that goes on, informal teaching, or that you know
There's-
about?
There's formal teaching.
Is there?
Mhm.
Who are the teachers for hire? Those who.
Well, Eddie Collins,
Uh-huh.
I think, makes his living at it, although he started a magazine also. So he's definitely a big
What's
teacher.
his magazine, and what does he play?
Banjo.
Good
He
question.
plays
He plays-
guitar too, but he mainly banjo, and I forget the name of his magazine.
Is it music magazine?
Yeah, Banjo magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he and John Hood started it, and I have a feeling that it's not going on anymore.
Okay. It isn't Banjo Newsletter, is it? Which is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I
Okay.
think is that based
That's the
here?
thing. I don't know. That's why I asked. I had never thought to look.
Yeah. So that might be.
How many could there be?
So he'd be a good person to talk to because he was president of CTBA for several terms, I think. And,
Okay.
definitely right in the middle of it in terms of the jams and the teaching and
Right.
all that stuff. He started the band Scramble.
Yeah.
I think he's been a fairly big influence and a healthy one.
Okay.
He's got a real education, orientation.
Are you interested in other music?
Oh yeah.
What kind of stuff?
Way too many things. Well, right now I'm real interested in hillbilly and pretty interested in western swing and some singer-songwriters,
Okay.
if they're good.
Okay.
And then old time. But my big passion is
Show tunes.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Good.
no, like early bluegrass duets.
Uh-huh. Well, that's kind of cool. Who are you listening to there?
Oh,
I have a
gosh.
reason for. Who are you listening to? I have a reason for asking that.
There's too many. Well, like the Lubins
Uh-huh.
and of course Hazel and Alice
Right.
and the Bailey brothers and all the brothers, the Lilly brothers.
What's your take
and-
on the Whitstein brothers, the kind of more recent
Well,
rapper?
I like a lot of their stuff. Yeah, yeah. And they were at Merlefest a few years ago, so I got to see them several times, and I was real taken with them.
I love those records.
Yeah.
I just listen to them.
Yeah.
Let's sing it over and over again.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Okay. Well, that's your favorite thing.
I mean, not necessarily Woodstein, but just
Those
duets.
duet things, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect musical form.
And that's not around much, is it, at all?
Well, if you look for it, there's tons of material, just
Uh-huh.
tons. And I think there's quite a few people interested. Matter of fact, this guy I play with, he was playing regularly in our group, and now he's living in San Jose. And he says that the scene there is all brothers. I mean, that's the big scene there.
San Jose, California?
Yeah, or San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
You know, because Jody and Kate are there.
Right.
And, yeah, so that's what they do now. They have brothers night and brothers concerts and everything.
Intriguing.
And at Merlefest, Alice always has a duet section program. I think there's a lot of it. I mean, all the people I know, that's their favorite. Or not. Well, that's an exaggeration.
And what's the allure? Just the sound of two voices in harmony?
Oh, I
Just
think
the-
there's so much freedom. You know, you can do different kinds of harmony, and you can cross over. It's not like tight harmony where you kind of have to be stacked. There's not that much crossing over or freedom. I mean, you just got to stay with your three parts, and it's got to be. You just don't have any freedom really.
Okay.
It's very. The structure is all. But with a duet, you've got three notes and two voices, so you can do a lot of different things, including unison is allowed, which it would never be allowed in close harmony. So, and then just two instruments.
Do you encounter people who have a strong sense that this is non-mainstream music and that's somehow special, or we're somehow us against
Oh, I think people,
the rest of them, us
they
against them?
probably think they're a bit superior and that they have the taste not to like what's popular.
Right. You sense that in the air in places you've
Well, I
traveled?
don't.
Okay.
I don't know, because I mean, I don't even listen to it at all. I don't even know what it is.
Right. What makes a good singer-songwriter except the fact that you like them?
But they sound like they're Hank or something, you know? I mean, I like the real roots-oriented ones. Or, I guess, you know, I guess some songs are just brilliant,
Yeah.
but most, of course, are not.
Right. That's always a good topic. We get lots of good answers on that.
Oh, what are some other ones?
Don't sing me their fucking diaries.
Right, I'm not too interested in the introspective.
Right.
Although, I suppose the best of anything is, you know, the top 5% of any style is going to be wonderful.
Right.
It's just the rest of it isn't.
Do you think pretty much any song could be done as a bluegrass song and done well and sound good?
Not any song, but I'm really into, you know, thinking about that. I go around everywhere saying, you know, listening to Western Swing or listening to Hillbilly or singer-songwriter and thinking, could that be a bluegrass song?
Okay, so you definitely don't think that there's a bluegrass song.
No.
Bluegrass is just instrumentation and a way of doing
Yeah,
a good
although
song.
probably there's a little bit of rhythmic, you know, limits to it.
Okay.
But no, and some of the best recordings I think are going outside. I mean, well, of course, all the original bluegrass guys, I mean, some of them wrote their own stuff, but a lot of them just used popular country material or whatever.
Right. And then
And it's just like It's just the traditional music of today. It's any kind of music done any style done acoustically can be bluegrass.
Right, right. I guess the parameters are smaller in old-timey. I mean, how can you can't do an you can't do a Simon and Garfunkel tune as an old-timey song,
Right,
I guess.
All the chords are much more limited.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least they are in my taste, because I don't like a bunch of, well, you're not going to have too many color chords. Maybe you have a minor chord or something, but
Right.
the less chords, better to me.
Yeah. Okay.
in old time. But, well, this new thing that Hartford and Grissman and, who was the other person? This retrogress?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not Herb Peterson, is it?
No,
I know the record. It's around a record, isn't it?
oh, Mike. It's Mike Seeger. Yeah. Well, they took all kind of stuff, and they took Maggie's Farm and all this stuff and made it old time.
I should listen to that.
I think it's hilarious. Dave Freeman gave it a terrible review.
That can't be sense.
Yeah, and I love reading his reviews. I just think he's made such a contribution with his honest reviews. I just love them. But he hated it for some reason. But I think that's definitely a demonstration of what you can do all the time. And there seems to be a movement to doing bluegrass in an old time style now. Because retrogress isn't the first project.
Do you go to a lot of festivals?
Pretty many.
You do?
Well, last year I went to Strawberry, Real Fest, IBNA, and then some local ones. I guess that's not very many.
Right. Now, Merle Fest is getting pretty eclectic too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's Americana.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've gone just about every year, and I've gotten sort of addicted to it. Just the idea that I can see so many different kinds of stuff.
Does your husband do this, or he doesn't? No, he doesn't exist.